Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Peak Performers Podcast. I'm your host, Thor Conklin. In today's episode, we're going to talk about getting more. How do you get more? I'm going to give you the secret right after this.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. The number one reason why clients hire me is they feel like they're stuck at one level. They're very, very successful, but they feel like there's another stage, there's another step, there's another gear here, and they want to know how to push past it and get to the next level. They want more. That's what successful people want. They want more. They're never satisfied. Well, in order to get more, you must become more. You must step out of your comfort zone. Everything that you have currently is as a result of what you've determined your comfort zone to be. In order to get more, you've got to step out of it. You've got to take that leap of faith. You've got to push through that wall. You've got to lean into it in order to get outside of it. And in order to best do that, find something that pushes you past your beliefs, pushes you past your comfort zone, pushes you into that zone of the unknown where you're just going to do. Now, you may not even do it well. It doesn't matter. Just go and do it. You know, I've explained here several times that I wasn't afraid of skydiving. I was afraid of falling. I didn't like that feeling of falling. So I decided to do what? I went skydiving. I booked a skydiving trip. Now, guess what? I'm not afraid of falling. As a matter of fact, in skydiving, you don't even feel like you're falling. But the point is, do something that scares you. Do something that gets you outside of your comfort zone. I promise you, everything. It doesn't matter whether it's relationships, whether it's money, whatever you're looking for is outside of your comfort zone. So, best way to do it, find something that can expand you, okay? Now, knowledge is very important, but I'm not talking about expanding your knowledge. I'm talking about expanding the do. Go do it. This year, well, let's talk about last year for a second. Last year, what did I do? I spent 4 days with Navy SEALs, and they kicked my butt for 4 days. I did things that I did not think were possible physically and mentally, both of those. I look back on that time, and it was amazing. I mean, it sucked when I was going through it, but every single time I get into a situation now, you know, friends of mine laugh. We'll be doing something. They're like, oh, we got to go do this. No worries. Navy SEAL trained. Hey, we got to go do this. Beware of this. This is dangerous. No worries. Navy SEAL trained. It gets them to the point where they're actually ready to smack me one because they're tired of hearing Navy SEAL trained. But it's so important. Do something. So last year I did Navy SEAL training. This year, I've got an amazing adventure coming up. Now, these are physical challenges, but they're really mental challenges. They're expanding what I think is possible. In October this year, I'm going to be joining a group of about 150 people, and we're going to Stratton Mountain in Vermont. And Stratton Mountain is a ski resort. They have the vertical, I think, there is about 1,700 feet vertical. And we're going to be hiking over a 2-day period that mountain, hiking up it 16 times. What we're going to be doing is hiking over 29,029 feet, the equivalent of Mount Everest in 2 days. We'll take the gondola down, but in 2 days, we'll going up there 16 times. I have no idea how I'm going to do that. I am certainly not in shape to hike this mountain. It's the equivalent of going up a 2,900-story building. Many of you know I used to work in the World Trade Center, 105 floors. I wouldn't think about walking up those stairs. But this is going to be like a building, 2,900 floors, or a building that's over 5.5 miles tall, straight up. So I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to push myself. I'm going to get outside of my comfort zone. Now, what's the other thing really interesting about this event? Do you think that the people that are going to be there might be the people that you might want to surround yourself with? Do you think they might have belief systems that the general population does not? Do you think that these are high achievers? Well, I'm betting that they are. So not only am I going to push myself, but I'm going to put myself around people that are also pushing themselves. So stay tuned. I'll be posting plenty of information on that event coming up. But my challenge for you today is figure out something that you've been afraid of, something that you've been resisting, and figure out how to push through that and expand your comfort zone. Because once it's expanded, it never goes back. What you thought was impossible is now possible. If you're having trouble with any of this, if you're having trouble pushing through and pushing yourself, check out one of our accountability groups. For $95 a month, you can have someone that gets behind you, pushes you, and holds you accountable for what you said you were going to do. We don't let you fail. Plain and simple. We need you to succeed. We push you to succeed. We hold you accountable for what you said you were going to do. Have an amazing week, and thank you for checking in and listening to Peak Performers Podcast.